a powerful manifester. There's literally never been anything that I ever wanted in my life that I did not get. Not a single thing. And I know it sounds crazy to say out loud, but it's the truth. There's literally nothing I've ever wanted that I didn't get. Whether it be a job, a person, a career opportunity, a travel opportunity, you name it, educational opportunity, whatever I've ever wanted, I've manifested successfully in my life. All the way down to my home. I put it on my vision board, and this is probably going to sound crazy to some of you guys, but if you were to look at my vision board and you look at the kitchen in my vision board that I created, 5 years before the home that I live in, it's like identical. Literally everything I've ever wanted, I've gotten. Everything I ever want, I get. Everything I want, I attract. And it comes to me easily and naturally. The main reason for that is because I believe. You see, one of the biggest hurdles to manifestation for people, and they don't realize this about themselves, is one thing. It's fear. And fear breeds negativity. You cannot manifest something in your life that you don't believe in all the way. You cannot manifest something in your life that you don't believe is possible. You cannot manifest something in your life that you don't believe is possible for you. Some people believe it's possible, but they don't believe it's possible for them. You cannot manifest something in your life that you don't inherently believe you deserve. If you think that thing is too good for you, then how in the hell do you think you're going to get it? You're not. There's nothing too good for you. This whole earth is for the taking. There's literally nothing here that is so out of your reach that it's impossible for you to get. Nothing. It's just as easy to manifest a parking spot when you're going to the grocery store than it is to manifest somebody giving you $100. There's no difference here. It's all the same energy. You cannot manifest something in your life that you don't fully trust in. Manifestation requires trust. You have to trust the process. You can't manifest something in your life that you're not at ease about. You have to be able to relax. Because if you know it's coming, then you're not stressed out. You're not anxious about it. You're not nervous about it. Because you know it's already done. You don't see it with your eyes now, but you know spiritually it's already done. You're just waiting to see it in the physical sense, but in the spiritual world, it's already happened. When you truly believe, you're committed to the vision. You have your laser focus on it. You let go of the how. You're not concerned with the detours. They're irrelevant. You just focus on your destination because that is where you already live in your mind. Let's talk about the power of Saturn in manifesting the life of your dreams. Saturn in astrology gets a really bad rap. A lot of people think of Saturn as just being negative because Saturn is stern, Saturn is harsh, Saturn is cold, Saturn is dark. Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. It is intense. It is serious. It's punishing. It's stern. It's very much so anxiety provoking. It's all about keeping you on a tight leash. So if you're someone who naturally struggles with discipline and being kept on a tight leash, yes, Saturn is going to be an energy that you do not appreciate. And oftentimes, a lot of people who have daddy issues tend to struggle with people who have a lot of Saturn in their chart because Saturn is daddy energy in the zodiac. Saturn is about the rules and the regulations. Saturn does not care how you feel or what you went through or why you can't. Saturn just wants you to perform, and that's the end of it. How you feel about it, what you got to do to get there. Saturn does not care. Just discipline yourself, work hard, and get it done. And it's all in your hands. Nobody's coming to rescue you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's sending, an emergency team for your deliverance. It is all in your hands. It is all on you, and you have to put in the work. Some of you may have heard about Saturn return in the astrology community. It's like, ooh, Saturn return. It's very scary. Is it hard work? Yes. Does it kick your ass? Yes. But here's the thing. Saturn comes to give you rules and restrictions to lead you into your purpose. So Saturn is really your guardrails. Saturn is saying, not this, but that. Saturn is clarifying what you need to focus on. Saturn is giving you boundaries. That's the word that people hate. Responsibility, accountability, boundaries. People don't like those things because people want to do whatever the hell they want to do, however they want to do it. But here's the thing, you can, but everything has consequences, right? Action and reaction. That's what karma is. You can do whatever you want, but if the results that you're getting from doing whatever you want is not in alignment with the life you want to have, if you're miserable, then clearly doing whatever you want is not working. So, for anybody struggling with manifestation, I say take a look at your discipline. Instead of waiting for Saturn return to kick your ass into submission, why don't you get started on it now? Why don't you start approaching your life from that point of view? Look at where Saturn is in your chart and try to master that area with some discipline, with some routine, with some delayed gratification, with some holding back, with some, being aware that life is not all about pleasure and it is also about suffering. And yes, work sometimes is about suffering. Life is not all about joy. Sometimes it is about melancholy. Sometimes it's about being sullen. Sometimes it's about sweating and bleeding. That's life, all of it. Let's talk about how to use Saturn to manifest the life of your dreams. Oftentimes when we're talking about manifestation in astrology, we focus a lot on Mars. And Mars is your to-do list. Mars is your, how are you going to go about getting it done? It's your like mechanical part of the process. It's like the nuts and bolts of the process. But there are some big picture energies around manifestation that are also very important, because if those things are not aligned, you could be doing all the right things, but you're not getting what you want. In case you're wondering, yes, I do offer private astrology readings, link in bio to schedule your appointment. And you can find all my videos on YouTube, same name, and follow me on Instagram as well as Twitter. So let's talk about Saturn. Yes, I know Saturn is intense and boring, but there's power in harnessing your Saturn energy when you're working on your manifestation. Let me be specific. Let's say, as an example, you're somebody who wants to attract a new love. You want a healthy love. You want someone who's going to be obsessed with you, someone who's going to love you and only you, and you want it to be healthy. You want it to be loving. You want it to be something that nourishes your soul. So this is what you're telling me, that you want, right? And then we start talking about your love life, and what you're telling me is that you're still entertaining people who have devalued you, people who have disrespected you, people who have not valued your time, people who have deliberately done things to hurt your self-esteem and your self-worth, people who have taken money from you and never paid you back, people who have made you promises that they've broken numerous times, and that toxic ex that, you were crying about just a year ago, you're still dealing with them. You know what that tells me? That you don't actually want a new love. You're just telling me what you think I want to hear. You're just telling me what you think sounds good. You're telling me what your head knows you should aspire for. But on a soul level, on a spiritual level, on an energetic level, you're still very much so married to the past. And that's where you want to live. And if that's where you want to stay, that is fine. All I'm asking is for you to be honest with yourself about where you really want to be. And then for you to tell me the truth about where you really want to be. Because when you're telling me this and you're doing that, it's not registering, it's not making sense. So we got some problems because I don't know what we're working on. In order for me to be able to assist you, it has to make sense. There has to be some consistency. Somebody who's serious about wanting a new love is going to get rid of the trash that they have in their backyard so they can make room for the new flowers to bloom. You get my point, right? So that is the whole goal of this. You cannot manifest without discipline. Yes, I know that toxicity feels good. That's because that's what you're used to. But it doesn't nourish your spirit. So you have to deny yourself that, even though it hurts, so you can grow. And that is what Saturn is all about. Let's talk about how to use the power of Saturn to manifest your dreams. I do offer private astrology readings, link in bio to schedule your appointment. You can watch my videos on YouTube, same name. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Back to Saturn. When trying to manifest your dreams, it's really important that you understand where Saturn is in your chart and make sure that the decisions that you're making are in alignment with that purpose. Saturn in astrology is about rules. It's about regulations. It's about restrictions. It's about laws. It's about compliance. It's about ethics, it's about values, and it's about foresight. It's also about time and time management. It's about understanding that the decisions that you're making today should be made with the goal of being able to reap the benefits from them 20 years from now. Saturn is about delayed gratification. It's about being able to respond to crisis in the most effective way, keeping in mind the long-term goal. Saturn is who rules Capricorn and Aquarius. This is why Capricorn is very good at eliminating situations, people, and places from their lives that no longer serve their long-term goal, because Saturn forces them to be real about where it is they're trying to go and what decisions are they making now to align with that purpose, because Saturn keeps them on a tight leash. Saturn is not fun, but Saturn will keep you disciplined. If you're someone who gets triggered by that word discipline, then manifestation is going to be a little hard for you, because manifestation requires that we hold back, that we practice self-restraint, that we give in to what's coming in the future, and that we give up of what's in the past or even what's in the current. It wants us to take a bet on the future at the expense of what's happening now. And that requires discipline. Like, yes, right now I want to eat like 30 Oreos back to back. But if I'm trying to lose weight, I know that's not actually good for my long-term goal. So in this moment, I'm going to deny myself those 30 Oreos. And instead, I'm just going to have a mandarin. You get my drift. In astrology, Saturn is a god of karma. It is the god of responsibility for that reason. So when we're trying to manifest, two things we have to take responsibility for is, number one, our energy, our vibration. We are responsible for the energy we carry. We are responsible for our own energy. Whatever negativity we bring with us is ours. A lot of people don't like the idea of taking responsibility for their energy. And that's why a lot of times they cannot manifest, because they want to believe everything just happens to them and they do nothing to contribute to the bad things that happen to them. The truth is, nothing happens to you and everything happens for you. In line with that same train of thought, we are also responsible for the energy that we allow in our space. That is our job, to manage. Hey, little books, I didn't show them to you when you asked for them earlier on Instagram. Sorry. We'll do this again next time. But I would say look at what you've been resisting, like internally, like meditate on that, because you already have the answer. And if you're still unsure after you do that, then I would say look where in your natal chart do you have Pluto and where in your natal chart do you have Saturn, because that's what you need to work on. So basically in astrology, in your natal chart, Pluto tells you what part of my life is going to be destroyed for my spiritual growth and for my development, for my ascension. What part of my life is going to be tested? Oh, thank you, Lily Cubes. Thank you, that was beautiful. I love it every time. Thank you so much. So Pluto's telling you what part of my life is going to get destroyed so that I can grow. Sometimes it's so that I can, like, how do I say this? Sometimes the destruction feels like punishment, okay? I just want to be honest and in acknowledging that. Let's talk about the zodiac signs, who are the most powerful manifestors out of all 12 signs. Before we get started, in case you're wondering, link in bio to schedule your private astrology reading. You can also find all of my videos on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, as well as Twitter. Now, on to the most powerful manifestors in the entire zodiac. Number one, I would have to give it to Pisces. And the reason for that is because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. Pisces is in tune with the underworld. Pisces is psychic. So is Pisces manifesting, or is Pisces already speaking into existence what they've seen in a dream? I don't know. Number two is Cancer. Cancer does not have the gift of Neptune or Jupiter, but Cancer does have the lunar nodes. Cancer understands emotions. Cancer understands emotional timing. Cancer understands the vibe. Cancer knows when the vibe is right and when the vibe is wrong. So Cancer doesn't just work hard, they work smart, because they don't do things that betray their vibe. And that is how they're able to manifest anything. Remember, manifestation is energy work. It's spiritual work. It's about the vibe. So I'm going to keep talking about the vibe for the rest of my life. Number 3, I'll have to give that to Libra. Libra is in harmony with her environment. Libra is so self-consumed that she understands exactly where everybody is in the room emotionally. Libra is in tune with everyone and everything. When Libra is at their best, they're truly balanced. Because of that, Libra knows when is the right time to strike. Libra knows the right things to say to get you to be on their side. Libra can use that air energy to maneuver things in the room to make anything happen for themselves. Number 4 is Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. Because of this, Leo has a lot of confidence. Leo is bubbling with energy. Leo is bubbling with joie de vivre, optimism, go-getter, happiness, hopefulness. All of that lends Leo to be really successful at anything that they do because it doesn't take much for people to trust Leo's ability to deliver. Number 5 is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Because of this, Sagittarius tends to be very lucky. So all Sagittarius has to do is really believe in themselves and go for something, and things tend to fall in place for them. Sagittarius has the gift of having the spirit world on their side. So that always bodes well when you're trying to manifest anything. Number 6 is Scorpio, and Scorpio's manifestation power comes directly from their darkness. It's about being able to maneuver through negative energy. And lastly, number 7 is Taurus. Taurus's power are all about that stubbornness. You know, that sense of entitlement Taurus has? Yes, that's how you manifest Taurus. Saturn conjunct Moon in Pisces. Oh, yeah. I have no good feelings to share. Hang in there, buddy. Hang in there. Just keep trying. Do not give up. That's all I've got. Saturn conjunct in the first house. Yikes. Wow, you're karmic. People either love you or hate you. Nothing in between. You are intense. So you literally go around wrecking people's lives left and right, sending them to tower moments left and right, all walking away with a gift from you, a little word of wisdom about how to treat one another. That's a lot of work you're doing there, astrological prosperity. That's a lot of work. Well, thank you for your service. Ma'am, sir, they, them, everyone is welcome here. You've got to keep life interesting, you know? It doesn't matter what's going on, how hard it gets. You've got to keep it fun. Because when you don't, it literally overwhelms you, especially if you're a sensitive soul like me who just does not like to see people in pain and does not like to see suffering. Unless, of course, they deserve it. Then my feelings might be, I don't know. My feelings might be a little like, well, I don't feel good about it. Like, I'm not like, oh, the asshole is suffering. Like, it's never that. But, you know, all this Saturn energy in me, parts of me is just like, well, what else did you expect? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't ever wanna like box myself in too much because I am a human being, just like you guys, and we all, you know, have our trials and tribulations. So I just find that if you don't keep life a little silly, a little zany, a little creative, a little weird, that it just gets overwhelming. And when it's not fun, it's a drag. Like manifestation requires joy and love. So you've got to keep some love in your heart. And I'm not necessarily talking about a relationship. I mean like the love of life itself. You've got to find it, whatever that means for you. We all have our things. And this isn't so much about what the thing is, as it is about the fact that everybody needs to find their thing. Because life is not always going to be chippy and cheerful. And when the sun isn't shining, you've got to bring it. You've got to bring your own. You see all this yellow I'm wearing? It's going with this message. See how the universe works? Everything is pretty obvious whenever you're on the right track. I just find that if you don't keep life a little silly, a little zany, a little creative, a little weird, that it just gets overwhelming. And when it's not fun, it's a drag. Like manifestation requires joy and love. So you've got to keep some love in your heart. And I'm not necessarily talking about a relationship. I mean like the love of life itself.
You've got to find it, whatever that means for you. We all have our things. And this isn't so much about what the thing is, as it is about the fact that everybody needs to find their thing. Because life is not always going to be chippy and cheerful. And when the sun isn't shining, you've got to bring it. You've got to bring your own. You see all this yellow I'm wearing? It's going with this message. See how the universe works? Everything is pretty obvious whenever you're on the right track.
They keep harping on wanting to know things about you. And if you're not skilled to recognize the game that they're playing, you share it under duress. And I don't mean that in the legal sense. They manipulated that information out of you. And that's why you shared it. And they manipulated it out of you because they knew that one day they would need to use it as a weapon to get you back in line whenever you're going against their program. These people manipulate you into sharing information for the sole purpose of using that same information against you to cause you deep emotional damage that leave you feeling so ashamed, so fearful, and so, despondent that you're willing to just keep being in their company because now they have unlocked a new type of hurt that you have equipped them with by sharing information with them that you were not ready to share with them. People are not that hard to decipher. I don't know why you guys say that. As a therapist, literally all that I did was watch people. Just watch them. That's all a therapist does. We just watch and listen. Honestly, if you just close your mouth and watch them, watch how they move, listen to the stories they tell about their past, you'll learn everything you need to know. People are not that interesting. People are not that interesting, I promise you. Humanity as a whole is interesting to me, but people are pretty predictable. Just watch them. A person that makes everything about them is not all of a sudden going to be somebody that doesn't do that. Like, oh, now I'm going to be thoughtful. Now I'm going to be kind. Now I'm going to do nice things for you. No. A person that makes everything about them to do nice things to get something from you, that's who they are. Let me tell you, in any other reality, you can be them. There are lots of people that have gone from having certain privileges that they've lost. I've just told you about my life with lupus and how it's changed my face. I mean, I'm at peace now. But I now understand that at any point in time, a privilege that you have can be taken from you. Somebody that grew up wealthy could end up poor. Somebody that was able-bodied can end up with a disability. Our privilege was not given to us so that we can find ourselves superior to our brother or our sister, so that we could be emboldened with large amounts of ego and cockiness that make us so self-righteous that we want to step on people that are lower than us. That's not why it was given to us. If you study any ism issue that we have in this society, racism all the way down to sexism and everything else in between, and xenophobia, what you will find is that the people who have the privilege and who have the power, when they're unevolved and not as intelligent, are quick to dismiss the suffering of those who have less power, simply because they cannot relate. And they do this because their mindset is, if I personally do not experience it, then it must not be real. Because nobody's ever discriminated against me. When I go to a restaurant looking for a table, nobody makes me wait. Nobody puts me in the most uncomfortable seat so they can watch me in case they think I'm gonna dine and dash. Nobody follows me around the store when I go shopping. So therefore, you must be too sensitive. You must be making it up. Some of you do not know how energy works, so I decided to make this video to make it a lot easier to understand. You see, when it comes to energy, whatever it is that you are resisting or whatever it is that you are giving energy to is what's going to further manifest in your life. So for those of you that like to spend all of your time on the internet looking at people you don't like, listening to people you don't like, and watching people you don't like, guess what you're attracting into your life? You guessed it. Things and people you don't like. So if you want something, that's what you want to focus on. If you don't want something, that's what you want to dead. That's what you don't want to give energy to. That's what you want to erase from your consciousness. This is why I'm so big on healing, because the things that we are obsessing with are often the result of our own lack of healing. As an example, if you grew up in a home where you were always made to feel like you were worthless, you were a nobody, you did not matter, you had no value, you're going to be somebody who compulsively goes after relationships, with people that make you feel unworthy in one way or another. Whether it's you call them, they don't call you back. You text them, they don't text you back. You invest time and energy into them, they don't invest the same time and energy into you. Like, they treat you as if you're disposable, because that is how you feel about yourself. So the energy that you vibrate at determines what you attract into your life. So if you want to attract into your life people that are devoted to you, that are in love with you for all the right reasons, then you want to vibrate at that energy. And that energy is, I am in love with myself for all the right reasons. So I don't spend my energy, on things that do not vibrate with what I'm resonating with. Because who's for you is going to vibe with you, and who's not for you is going to bring tension. So if you're someone that likes to watch people you don't like and listen to people you don't like so you can tell them how much you don't like them, just stop it. Because all you're doing is bringing more negativity to your life. And guess what? That's not going to get you to a happy life. And I know you want to be happy. Don't we all want to be happy? I know I want to be happy. So yes, I don't spend time on things, people, situations that do not bring me joy, because what I want is to be joyful. And I wish you the same.
Ever notice that right before you're about to manifest something, your life gets really shitty? You have a falling out with your entire friend group. You get fired brutally from your job. Your car breaks down 13 times. Let me explain why that's happening. Before we get started, hi, I'm Jackie. I'm a manifestation coach. If you want to book a session with me or get one of my workbooks, you can go to my website, hoodwinkler.com. Okay, here's what's going on. It's really as simple as this. If you are asking for a new life, you cannot keep your old one. Here's you. Say you are asking for a new job. There's you at your new job. You currently are working at your old job that you've worked at for like 10 years. It gives you money. It gives you security. It essentially gives you everything you need, except it's not what you want to do. You are having trouble. That's supposed to be a chain, not looking like a chain at all. You're having trouble letting go of this, but you're asking for this. You're saying, universe, I'm fucking ready to receive this. But you're caught onto this. So the universe will hear you. Here's the universe. And what they'll do is they'll come in and they'll fucking absolutely destroy this so that you have no choice but to move forwards into what you're asking for. Your friends that you currently have are, I don't know, drinking and smoking and partying all the time, and that doesn't really align with you. And you're asking for new friends who have different hobbies. If you are having trouble separating from these guys, then the universe will definitely come in and fucking fuck it up. You'll have a falling out so that you can finally move towards where you want to go.
Let's talk about the zodiac signs, who are the most powerful manifestors out of all 12 signs. Before we get started, in case you're wondering, link in bio to schedule your private astrology reading. You can also find all of my videos on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, as well as Twitter. Now, on to the most powerful manifestors in the entire zodiac. Number one, I would have to give it to Pisces. And the reason for that is because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. Pisces is in tune with the underworld. Pisces is psychic. So is Pisces manifesting, or is Pisces already speaking into existence what they've seen in a dream? I don't know. Number two is Cancer. Cancer does not have the gift of Neptune or Jupiter, but Cancer does have the lunar nodes. Cancer understands emotions. Cancer understands emotional timing. Cancer understands the vibe. Cancer knows when the vibe is right and when the vibe is wrong. So Cancer doesn't just work hard, they work smart, because they don't do things that betray their vibe. And that is how they're able to manifest anything. Remember, manifestation is energy work. It's spiritual work. It's about the vibe. So I'm going to keep talking about the vibe for the rest of my life. Number three, I'll have to give that to Libra. Libra is in harmony with her environment. Libra is so self-consumed that she understands exactly where everybody is in the room emotionally. Libra is in tune with everyone and everything. When Libra is at their best, they're truly balanced. Because of that, Libra knows when is the right time to strike. Libra knows the right things to say to get you to be on their side. Libra can use that air energy to maneuver things in the room to make anything happen for themselves. Number four is Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. Because of this, Leo has a lot of confidence. Leo is bubbling with energy. Leo is bubbling with joie de vivre, optimism, go-getter, happiness, hopefulness. All of that lends Leo to be really successful at anything that they do because it doesn't take much for people to trust Leo's ability to deliver. Number 5 is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Because of this, Sagittarius tends to be very lucky. So all Sagittarius has to do is really believe in themselves and go for something, and things tend to fall in place for them. Sagittarius has the gift of having the spirit world on their side. So that always bodes well when you're trying to manifest anything. Number 6 is Scorpio, and Scorpio's manifestation power comes directly from their darkness. It's about being able to maneuver through negative energy. And lastly, number 7 is Taurus. Taurus's power are all about that stubbornness. You know, that sense of entitlement Taurus has? Yes, that's how you manifest Taurus.